Greens guys, this is Blight's Rich. Nullsec's gone a bit stale for me, boys, so I've been doing a lot more Nullsec PvP, and this Comet has been doing me very well. I found that in like BCs and cruisers, you know, like bigger things, if you're brawling, it's so difficult just in the Nullsec landscape at the moment. Just because there's so many people in Nullsec, people are well keen for being in groups and things, so it's kind of difficult, but it's good like in frigates, you have the range control to kill a couple dudes, and then disengage. So I've been having really good success in like frigates and stuff, been able to blast, and they're cheap too. This Comet, I'd like to say it's cheap, but 50 mil is a bit pricier side of faction frigates, I would say. So you have dual props, you have a good bit of range control on the go, your Void DPS is huge, so you basically want to try and get into range of Void, right? If you're looking to just apply Void DPS, keep your opponent at 1k or 1.5k, so you'd be better. Just void them down, but there's other things you can do with a Comet. You can load Null, Scram Kite, use Antimatter and Orbit Close, try and get under things guns. It all depends on what you're fighting. Hopefully next upcoming fights can give you a rough idea of when you want to do said things. But we're also running some sort of damage augmentation. We're using a power of those 1. A 1% to your rate of fire and 3% to your hybrid damage. That is a 3% implant, but it's a cheap implant. So don't worry about that. I think it's like 3 mil or something. So that adds a lot of nice DPS. You could also rock an Exile. I don't like rocking those kind of boosters in Nullsec just because you get one of those negatives, see like Capacitor. That really hurts. Another thing to take into consideration is bring a mobile depot with you. You do see that we have 2 hull reppers in our cargo there. That's if you finish a fight, you've taken a lot of hull damage, because a lot of your EHP is in your hull. You really want to go to a safe and rep that up before you know, continue on your adventure, look for some other kills and these kind of things. So it's good to know that you aren't completely gimped after one fight, right? You can sort of get to your safe and recover. So it's definitely worthwhile bringing that mobile depot and reppers. So yeah, there's not too much more to talk on this Comet. We do have a lot of range control, but there are some things that you can range control you, right? See, like dual prop things with a web or just the AB web only things can still range control you. And that's generally where you're going to die. Or if you get blow up, you know, you miscalculate, right? And you can't kill a dude before you can pull range or disengage or kill him. That's usually when you're going to die here. But other things like range control on you, that's definitely something that can happen. And it has happened. So just take into consideration, like hook bells, like dual prop web, that's kind of rough. I'd still take those fights. But if you're fighting a hook bell, I'd generally start off with Null. But I'm mumbling now, boys. Let's go into the fights and sort of explain what's going on. Now, this fight shouldn't really be winnable. But it's always worth checking, right? This is a Blaster Heki, and realistically, again, it shouldn't happen if this gentleman has Null. It's pretty much GG for us, but basically your play against Blaster Heki is keep him at 5 or 6k. I keep him at 6k here because I'm kind of stressed. You want to get out of his Void and Antimatter range and start playing away at him with Null. We'll be in 4 fall off at that range with Null, but it's enough as to where we'll win it if he doesn't switch. But after killing this dude, it seems like he didn't have any Null in his cargo hold, so this is a valuable lesson to this gentleman. And any Heki or Blaster, you know, pilot, whatever, always bring Null as well as Void, and probably Antimatter too. Had this guy switched to Null, we would have basically been evaporated. Heki's with Void and even Null are doing insane DPS. And although I burnout stuff, and he could have probably gained range on us at that point, is pretty much GG. If you had Null, would have been dead, and this shouldn't have really happened. Nevertheless, GF that guy. Now, this is a very interesting fight. It's against a Caracal, and straight up Ramsey Caracal, you basically lose. This is Rapid Lights. You see that I'm sort of keeping them at like 50, trying to outrun these missiles and make them waste Rapid Light charges. Or I want him to put these 2 drones on me. I think it's 2 drones Caracal has, and kill those. Once I think he's suspended quite a lot of these Rapid Lights, or he's on reload, I come in here. And basically what I want to do is I initially start orbiting at 500, but since he's at reload, we keep him at 1k, and so we can apply fully. I'm really hoping to kill him before he reloads these Rapid Lights, because you see, even though he's using Inferno Light Missiles, Rapid Lights are basically designed to kill things like this, like a Comet, no baller. Had he been using like Nova or Scourge, it would have been GG. He does get reload off, and it's incredibly tense. I thought I lost this, but I would take it. So GF to that Caracal pilot. Okay, let's get a fight against a Sentinel. Basically, I want to get my Nos and Scram on him before he nukes me out and kites me off. And thankfully, I'm able to do so. Had he done so and nuted us off before we got like that Nos and Scram on him, that's GG. And since we got them on him, just because like the agility and the speed of the Comet's insane. That's another really cool thing about the Comet. But I keep him at 1k here, try and apply my Void DPS to him. Overheat the Nos here, turn off the MWD, offline the MWD just so our caps, you know, a bit more manageable. Thankfully he's not doing too much DPS, so that isn't really too much concern. Like, right, we don't need to like run a Ripper, just our DPS and get our Nos and go and stuff. So GF to that Sentinel. It's a nice little 1v1 against a Jag. I say it's 1v1 question marks for one jump from R10 and I'm expecting backup. So I want to keep him at 1.5k here, get Void on the go. You'll notice he's actually pulling range from us when I don't have my AB heated. That was a bit bad on my part, should have kept that heated from the get-go. He's doing a lot of nice DPS actually. But once we get into our Blaster DPS, Void DPS, you just see we're absolutely melting them, mate. Of course, I think he already activated Still Damage Control, but once that's gone, he's doing fairly well chunking through us. But we're also doing a very good job in doing that to him. He's dual, medium, and save Ripper. And yeah, we go for him relatively quickly. Nevertheless, still a good GF, nearly had us. Okay, this fight ends up becoming a loss. But hopefully we can take some things away from it. I'm relatively sloppy in this fight. But this is an Autocannon Thrasher. I orbit him 500, try and get up his guns whilst voiding him down. That's the only really thing you can do against an Autocannon Thrasher. If you want to take the fight, Autocannon Thrasher should really kill you. But yeah, you can't really, you know, scram kite with null because he'll still be hitting you out fall off. So you basically just want to orbit close and pray. Saber here as well, dope. After I murder this Thrasher, we're going to go on Saber to the same strat, orbit 500, get the Void DPSs on him, is my plan here. So yeah, okay, start orbiting, get Void on him, Fed Navy Comet coming in, Atron. I would have loved to fight these things individually, or maybe Atron, Fed Navy Comet together. But dude, with the Saber, with all the damage taken from the Thrasher, I'm starting to freak out, mate. This is when I started becoming indecisive. And this is kind of what loses it. I start pulling range from the Saber. Should have kept on him. Would have killed him, probably. I think my plan is to maybe kill the Atron. Dude, I don't know. We're all over the place in this one, mate. I'm still shooting the Saber. Put guns in Fenny Comet. That isn't where I wanted them to go. I wanted them on the Atron. Now, I didn't want to scram the Atron, so I actually wanted them to be on top of me to get Void DPS. But I should have put the scram on the Fenny Comet to make him, you know, not being Void DPS right on top of us. So we could have maybe got that Atron and the Saber had we played that better, but we didn't. Hopefully you guys learned something from my mistakes. Now yes, I am including a PvEing Vexor in this video, because it's a dope little fight and it shows that you can start killing some Radders with Venom Comet just because it's crazy DPS. Now, best scenario, this guy's using EM drones on us, you'll see it's still really, really difficult. So in the best situation, you can kill, like, you know, Radders and stuff with this Comet. I wouldn't really go for it. Mainly aim for, like, miners and stuff to get the, like, local Nullsec residents riled. But you can go for Vexors if you're in space that they're using, like, EM drones in, right? You don't want to be, like, in Angel space going for these kind of things because you'll probably die. Just because of the, you know, explosive drones they'll be using. But very close fight. GF to that. PvE did. And, yeah. Okay, this is a cool little fight against a Jackdaw. Light Missile Jackdaw, he aggressed me, I re-approached gate, he was on Citadel, so I'm gonna, hopefully he's unaware of what's about to happen, maybe AFK a bit or something. I want to orbit 500 with AB on, try and make some of his light missile damage, use Void. Thankfully, for my sake, he's using Mjolnir light missiles. Worst light missiles to be using against a Comet. So that's beautiful. I noticed I'm not getting very good hits with Void whilst orbiting, I think. Let's see. Yes, we're getting occasional grazings. I did see we get a pen there. And so I end up switching to antimatter, is basically what I'm going for. I feel like if you're orbiting close, you want to go for antimatter, even against something like a Jackdaw. I don't know. I think T1 destroyers would be alright to orbit close with Void. Not frigates, so if you're orbiting frigates, antimatter. So I switch antimatter for this Jackdaw. Even with Mjolnir light missiles, you'll see that we're still really, really struggling here. He's starting to, you know, start punch into our hull buffer, which isn't good. I really want my armor resistances to be towards, you know, the EM light missiles. So we're continuously planking away at them. Again, I should maybe overheat my AB here at this point to mitigate more damage from these light missiles, because without a web, you're rocking an AB, you're going to mitigate some damage from these light missiles. We did take it, but it's pretty close. Even though, like, if he was using any other Thorma light missile, we would have lost. And last but not least, this is a great little fight I get. So this initially starts off with Tristan. Rifter comes down okay. The Tristan is Newt fit, which is quite rough, but thankfully we have the Nos. If we didn't have the Nos in this situation, we were dead. So I basically want to kill this Tristan, get all the Newt pressure off us, then we're going to blap that Rifter. Hopefully I can, get back some of my capacitor, and then be able to, nuke the Rifter, because a lot of our, resources require capacitor, guns, everything requires capacitor, man. We need capacitor. So the Tristan's gone. Fantastic. Let's go into this Rifter. Again, I want to keep him at 1k or 1/2k, whichever suits. Get him voided down. I'm lining out. I am freaking out. There's so much stuff on grid at the moment. You notice when there's more than like one or two things, I start to freak out, mate. I can't handle it. I start pulling range from the Rifter, getting my void damage. Nay good, but I think my drones are able to take him down. Malediction close. I don't know why these interceptors are just ramming me, but it's fantastic. So I'm nosing off him, getting a bit more capacitor, keeping that 1k, get my void on him. Beautiful. This looks like this Malediction's dead. Beautiful. Crow, I'm looking at you next. I do see also there's an Occator coming down. I'm hoping he's going to jump gate. But no! He actually ends up being a combat Occator. And I can, this Crow's range controlling me, I think. Or maybe once the Occator gets webs on me, he's able to pull range from me. I think that's what it is. Should have probably switched to Null at that point. But I don't know, I'm just freaking out, man. I'm getting the adrenaline shakes and all that extra so much stuff going on, and I just can't. Oh, my perception, mate. So I'm like, alright, what is happening? Okay, combat, Occator, this Crow is pulling range from me. Let's see if I can get out. Capacitor's a real big problem here. Tank's real big problem here. I just want to live. Now, do we live is the question. The Cater's doing weird combat-y things on me. Okay, so the other guy's pulled range. I don't scram off. I was trying to scram off the Cater, but anyway, we escape. So all that mumbling and we escaped. That's a fantastic little fight. Thank you so much, Horde. And yeah. And that's the end of our video, boys. Thank you so much for watching. Do hope you enjoyed. And I certainly have the itch for Nullsec PvP, man. So do expect a lot more frigate-based Nullsec content. Got a few ideas for some other faction frigates, maybe some AFs on the go, maybe some command destroyers, these kind of things. I just haven't had any good success in cruisers and battle cruisers and up Nullsec. So I'm going to try and keep it to light things. Things where I can disengage easier and sort of, separate things. So yes, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. If you end up trying this comment, I wish you the best of luck. If you don't decide to try it, then I don't know. Enjoy Eve, enjoy your Eve Adventure, all these kind of things. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, boys.